is a beautiful Sunday, and we're in a new filming location because it's been a week since my sister moved out, which means that our guest room is free. We didn't actually use the guest room for much prior to this. We had a bed in here, we had a bunch of storage, like use the closets for stuff, and I realized that this is actually a really sunny part of our room that we don't, or sorry, a very sunny part of our house that we never really took advantage of. And there is a nice little desk by the window over there. There is this really nice little view for filming and relaxing. And we have a bed if we want to like read in bed in a nice sunny room moving forward. So I'm really excited about the unlocked potential of this room. I haven't been writing as much either, but now that we're settled, I'm hoping that I can make a lot of good progress with my novel. If you are a returning person to my channel, hello. Thanks for tuning back in. If you're new, I'm Jen. I'm a corporate girly based in LA that is working on their first novel, and I'm documenting just like life and craft and different things that intrigue me. For today, I ordered a bookcase months ago. 1 month went by, 2 months went by, 3, 4, and I still did not get any updates about this bookcase. It was going to be pretty gorgeous, but when I checked in again, they were like, oh, it's not even in production yet. So I canceled that order. And I had some buyer's remorse in that meantime because I discovered this really beautiful bookcase from Design Within Reach. It's a tower bookcase where you just kind of like stack your books and stuff on top of it. And this gave me a good reason to just go for it and order that one after I canceled my original bookcase order. We do not have a bookcase in our house. We have one bookshelf, and then we just stack our books all over the place. Everywhere that I can stack a book, it's there. So I might as well stack them in a proper bookcase. I've been reading as much as I can as well to try to understand like what is that little thing that I feel like my novel is missing. And when I was younger and I used to write short stories, I did a lot more character-driven stories where there wasn't as strong of a plot per se. Like you can kind of tell where it's going, but it was a lot more self-reflection, self-discovery. And I'm kind of, as I dove into craft and like having a propulsive story, balancing different characters, because a lot of the time it was just like focusing on one character in that short amount of time that you had to write a short story. I kind of like threw that out the window and I realized that I want to go back to my roots. I want to go back to that approach again. So you know me, I love to edit as I go. I revisited my chapter 1 and 2 and added a lot more of that introspection and maybe what my main character in the first part of the novel, his name is Rosé. Maybe what Rosé is thinking about isn't super important to the plot per se, but it does help develop her character. It does help develop the world a little bit and setting, and I don't need to dive into these high stakes from the very beginning. I can take it slow a little bit. So I've been enjoying revisiting the story and doing that. I also was struggling with how to get the plot to propel forward after the reunion between Rosé and her long lost friend who comes back into their lives and has this really big ask for her. And I was stretching that out a little bit where I wanted to keep that character's motivations a little secret for a while. And I don't need to do that. Just let them tell her what they need from the beginning and then let Rosé be like, no. And also not put so much pressure in being like, okay, A, B, C, D, I need to connect all these dots. Like I have A, B, C, D, and we can kind of meander there as long as I do it in an interesting way, which is incredibly difficult, but I think that's going to be a lot more fun for me to do versus feeling like I need to plow through these words. This is a hobby and a passion. I'm not making any money off of it. I just want to enjoy myself, and I legitimately love to learn. That's why you might see I've been doing slightly more craft style videos, because I like to learn, and I like to talk about the things that I learn. And sometimes I look at myself, I'm like this as work as well. I legitimately love becoming better and better at what I do. I love learning about getting deeper and deeper into my expertise. I love broadening my scope every single year. That's what keeps me engaged at work. That's what gives me purpose at work. And we spend so much time at work that I need to find purpose and interest in it. Not everyone is like that. And that was something that I struggled with when I was earlier on in my career, where I was like, why do people not care about doing the right thing? And why do people not care about figuring this out? Don't you want to know why we're doing the things that we're doing? Don't you want to understand how we can get better at this? And the answer was, some people just don't care, and that's okay. In a perfect world, people would care, but like, not everyone needs to be like me. Not everyone needs to care as much as I do. We're all on the same team. We'll figure it out together. Anyway, again, I'm just blabbing a lot. Let me get back to my point. So today, my goal, I'm going to put an incredibly difficult goal on myself, because I am such a slow writer. I'm going to write 1,000 words today, and that will be incredible, because it has been legitimately the longest time since I've written more than like 300 words in a given day. To get myself back into it, I'm gonna choose a future scene. So yeah, that's my plan for today. 1,000 words and setting up the bookcase, and then I can add those things to my reward passport, which I have one new thing to add on to there. I finished a book called Race the Sands. It was really interesting. I really liked the characters in it, and it was a very novel magic system for me anyway. I think it was somewhat predictable in some ways of like who the real big bad is in that story. I won't dive into spoilers, but I still had a really fun time. Okay, that's enough talking for me. I'm gonna get about my day. I might take a little break for lunch because I haven't had lunch, and go from there. But I'll check in a bit. Hello, it's me. It is night. This is take 2 because I had my retainers on for the first take, and you can really hear my lisp when I have my retainers on, and it bothers me so much that I'm doing this again. But hello, it is like, I don't know, 8 something at night right now. And as you can see, I did start to set up the bookcase a little bit. No structure yet. I'm just like tossing things on here based on size and like mental category I have. But we're not here to talk about my bookcase. We're here to get an update about how my writing has been going. So I actually made a lot of progress. I'm at like 630 some words right now, which is pretty good considering I only sat down to write for like 1 hour, less than an hour, I want to say, actually, because I kept distracting myself. But once I started to write, it just started to come and the ideas were flowing. For this scene, I'm writing in Xander's POV. He is kind of this rich, indecisive guy who is struggling with a lot of things, but in this scene, he's being forced to plan this event with someone who is in love with him, and he is not in love with her. He's actually been actively avoiding her for years, I want to say. And one thing that I really like about this scene is that when I came up with the female character here, her name's Dahlia, the like defining characteristic of her that I had in my head and the purpose she was serving was that she is in love with him, which is not great. And I, through this, am discovering her voice a lot more, like giving her a voice and a lot of sympathy, given she's, I don't know, I feel like if you've ever been in love and been in unrequited love, it like hurts. And so I didn't want to have her be this stereotypical female rival in love type character who is like a bully to anyone who shows any interest in the people that she's interested in. So I wanted to subvert that, but also I wanted to make her a little bit more intriguing and resilient and sympathetic than I had thought she would be when I first came up with this character. And I found Xander's voice really quickly because I had written a few scenes in his POV before, but hers came a lot more naturally as I was thinking through the kind of tension that I wanted to introduce with this scene, with him being like, why do you love me? And her reacting to that. So I'm having a fun time. I feel pretty good about my progress and I'm like confident I'll get to 1K tonight, and I probably won't give an update on where it lands until tomorrow morning. But anyway, it's late. It's not late. It's like 8 something. It is dark. I look ghastly under this lighting, but I will avoid doing these late or dark, I don't know, these after dark shots in the future because I'm like partially blinded in this eye now because of how close the light has to be. But anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow. Hello, it is Saturday, a few days after I thought I was going to be filming this like outro conclusion to this video, but work has been extremely hectic and I have been working late. I have been doing things that maybe I would normally delegate to someone on my team, but it's just like so high priority that I need to get it done. So that's taken me away a little bit from my writing and content, but I did end up writing 1,004 words that day, and it was like come and go for a while. I was in bed, like my eyes were drooping. I didn't know if I was going to make it, but I did. And as I was figuring out where I wanted to plug in those extra words from my last check-in, I realized I'm very bad about how to show the passage of time in a way that feels natural and also like weaves back into the current moment. It feels to me like a lot more of a summary and kind of boring, and it doesn't have a lot of voice, so I played around with that. So right now I am listening to Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I would say it's like a mystery comedy. So Vera Wong is the main character, and she owns a tea shop that is not doing so great, not doing so hot. She lives upstairs, and one morning she comes down into her tea shop and she finds a dead body. So that kicks off her mission to solve this murder because she is convinced it's a murder and the police don't necessarily think so. It's really fun. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but as I'm listening to this, I'm paying attention to all of those things and trying to pay attention to how the author writes in those passages through time and transition scenes and chapters, because I'm not very good at it. But I really enjoy this book. I recommend it. It's really fun. I think it's really fun. Anyway, though, back to me. So I also have my little writing retreat in 2 weeks, which feels like nothing. And I'm hoping to have a stronger outline leading into that retreat so that I just write with direction. I also don't want to spend that time editing what I've already written. I really want to use that time to plow ahead and take breaks to reflect and think about how I can inject more voice, more interiority, more of those things that I am missing when I review my earlier writing. But anyway, I'm talking a lot. For everyone who has made it this far, thank you so much yet again for engaging with me, engaging with my content. I hope that I get to catch up with you again soon. But until then, have a great rest of your summer and talk soon. Bye.